Welcome to Raos Academy, Hyderabad Branch. I'm Swetha and I'm here to teach current affairs. So, the current affairs of the day is World Youth Skill Day 2025. So, before getting into the topic, let's understand what's the emphasis, what's the importance of this day, and what's the reason for commemoration of this day. So, there is a lot of unemployment in India and globally, which is because of the lack of skill, and again the lack of human capital. Due to lack of skill and human capital, it is very difficult to find a job, to find employment, and to improve the entrepreneurship and to start startups. So on that basis, the UNGA has come up with an initiative to celebrate the World Youth Skill Day every year, which is annually on 15th July, which has been started since 2014. So let's understand more about this World Youth Skill Day. This World Youth Skill Day celebrated every year on 15th July, which has been proclaimed by the UNGA since 2014. Whereas the theme, which is very, very important in exam point of view, the theme of World Youth Skill Day is the youth empowerment through artificial intelligence and digital skills. The reason behind the theme is around artificial intelligence and digital skill is because now we are living in fourth industrial revolution. This fourth industrial revolution now revolves around the artificial intelligence, machine learning, Internet of Things, and different digital tools. So the theme was youth empowerment through artificial intelligence and digital skills, and it is very essential for youth to inculcate the skills regarding to upcoming and emerging technologies regarding artificial intelligence and different digital tools. And this World Youth Skill Day is importance of equipping of young people with skills in order to get employment, to get entrepreneur skills, in order to start startups in different countries. And the status of present World Youth Skills is, it talks about the global disengagement, which is 7 in 10, which talks about among the 10 members globally, there are 7 members who are economically disengaged, who are not get employed due to lack of skills, due to lack of capital. That's what it talks about, the global disengagement, that 7 in 10 members are economically disengaged globally. And it talks about the gender divide and the digital divide. At present, we see that there is a less labor workforce of women when compared to men, and also digital divide. Many have no knowledge with regarding to that of the computer and the upcoming emerging technologies with regarding to computer and different systems. So at present, we face the problem of gender divide as well as digital divide, and the other being preparedness for artificial intelligence world. The present youth, nearly 86% of youth feel that they have no knowledge with regarding to artificial intelligence. So they are unprepared to this AI world. So this is the challenges and this is the status of present world youth. And the next being, Indian government has come up with different skills in order to empower youth to get into different fields. So in that process, Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship has come up with initiatives called Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana. This Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana emphasizes on improving the skill, to inculcate skill in youth in different fields, and those fields are also expanded to artificial intelligence, robotics, and again Internet of Things. Whenever we talk about Internet of Things, it is very essential to understand what does the Internet of Things talks about. Internet of Things is nothing but these are the smart tools. It is the smart way of using and using of different electrical appliances. By using phone in office, you can operate different electrical appliances in your home itself, which are the smart things. By using internet, you are operating all your electrical appliances in your home by sitting in your office, by just using internet in your phone. So those are called as Internet of Things. And the another initiative being Digital India program, which helps to improve the digital literacy and again the digital divide, and to reduce the digital divide and to improve the digital literacy, in those people who have no digital knowledge, how to operate different things, different emerging technologies, and the digital divide. And many of them don't know, especially the remote areas, don't know about the computer and how to operate it and how to operate the different technologies of the present world. So this program mainly emphasized on reducing digital divide and increasing digital literacy. So this is what about World Youth Skill Day, which is celebrated every year annually on 15th July, which has been commenced since 2014. And the other one being Jawahar tribes. So before getting into this Jawahar tribes, let's understand where they actually locate. These Jawahar tribes are actually located in the west coast of Middle and South Andaman Islands. So as we got to know the location, let's understand more about the geography of Andaman and Nicobar Islands before getting into these tribes. So this is the about Andaman and Nicobar Islands. This is the Andaman group of island, and this is the Nicobar group of island. Andaman group of island stretches from North Andaman to Little Andaman. This Andaman group of islands includes North Andaman, Middle Andaman, South Andaman, and the Little Andaman, whereas the Nicobar group of islands stretch from Car Nicobar Island to Great Nicobar Island, whereas this is a separate group of islands, whereas this is the separate group of islands, whereas the channel that separates these Andaman Islands and these Nicobar Islands being 10-degree channel. This 10-degree channel is nothing but 10-degree north latitude. This 10-degree north latitude is nothing but we call 10-degree channel. It is the channel that separates the Andaman group of islands from the Nicobar group of islands. Whereas as we saw these Andaman group of islands, there is another channel called Duncan Passage, which has been located in between the South Andaman as well as the Little Andaman. So it is very important to remember this Duncan Passage, which has been located between the South Andaman and the Little Andaman, whereas the 10-degree channel separates the Andaman group of islands from the Nicobar group of islands. So let's understand more about these islands. In case of this Andaman group of islands, in case of this North Andaman Islands, this consists of the Saddle Peak. It is the highest peak of Andaman and Nicobar group of islands. This Saddle Peak has been located in the North Andaman Islands, and then another island called Barren Islands. These Barren Islands is mainly responsible, and it is mainly significant in news also many times because of the presence of active volcanoes. Whenever anyone asks that whether India is having an active volcanoes or not, it is important to remember and understand that India have active volcanoes which have been located in the Barren Islands. And the other important islands, there are many other important islands which whose name has got replaced with other names. They are being Raos Island has been replaced with Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose Island, and the other two islands being Havelock Island. This Havelock Island name has been replaced with the Swaraj Dweep Island, and the other one being Neil Island. The name of this Neil Island has been replaced with Shahid Dweep. So these three islands are very important to remember in exam point of view. They may ask in the exam what is the replaced name for this old name for Raos Island, Havelock, or the Neil Island, or they may ask about the chronology from north to south. If so, they ask from north to south, then we have to mention that first is the Swaraj Dweep, then Shahid Dweep, then it is Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose Island. And there are many other islands. This is the Car Nicobar Island, and this is the Great Nicobar Island. And below this Great Nicobar Island, there is a point called the Indira Point. If this is the Great Nicobar Island, under this Great Nicobar Island, we'll observe the Indira Point, but it is the southernmost point of Indian subcontinent, but which got submerged in 2004 tsunami. So these are the Andaman group of islands. These are the Nicobar group of islands which got separated by 10-degree channel, whereas the Duncan Passage which separates the Little Andaman as well as the Southern Andaman. So now the point of contention is Jarawa tribes. These Jarawa tribes been located in the west coast of Middle and South Andaman Islands. So this is the location where these Jarawa tribes live. And why these Jarawa tribes been in news is because of the census. Now it's the 16th census that has been collecting the information about all over India about the different populations. So now this Jarawa has been in news in that regard. This Jarawas is one of the oldest survival tribes in the entire world. So let's learn more about these Jarawa tribes. These Jarawa tribes been located in the western coast of South and Middle Andaman Islands, and their primary occupation is they are the nomadic hunters and gatherers. And whereas these go from one place to other place in the form of 40 to 50 members in the form of a group. That group has been named as Chaddas. So this is the name Chadda. It is the name of group for 40 to 50 members who move from one place to another place for their primary occupation of hunting and gathering. And the other one being, they have been recorded in 2011 census as there are 380 Jarawas according to 2011 census. The next one being, they have the detailed knowledge of more than 150 plants and the 350 animal species. They being indigenous tribes, they have the knowledge regarding to the flora and the fauna of that particular area. Whereas the entry into this Jarawa reserve restricted under Andaman and Nicobar Protection of Aboriginal Tribes Regulation 1956. So this act is very important to remember. This act restricts the people to get into this reserve. The reason behind this act is in order to protect their culture from the outside world. So that is what about this Jarawa tribe, and this is what about the Andaman and Nicobar group of islands. And the next one being Tanimbar Islands. These Tanimbar Islands have been is a part of Indonesia. These Tanimbar Islands have been located in the Lesser Sunda Islands, where there is a region called Maluku province. This has been located. So let's understand more about the location of Tanimbar Islands. So now we can see, you can see here, this is the Indonesia. This is the lesser group of Sudan Islands. In this is the lesser group of Sudan Islands. In this lesser group of Sudan Islands, we will see this is called the Tanimbar Islands. These Tanimbar Islands have been located in the Maluku province. So they have been located in the Lesser Sunda Islands. In the Lesser Sunda Islands, Maluku province. In this Maluku province, these Tanimbar Islands have been located. Why these Tanimbar Islands have been in news? It is because there is an earthquake of 6.7 magnitude have been reported from this Tanimbar group of these Tanimbar Islands. So that is why these Tanimbar Islands have been in news. It is one of the 9 major Lesser Sunda Island groups. These Lesser Sunda Island groups are also known as Nusa Tenggara Islands. It is very important to remember the synonyms. The lesser group of Sunda Islands are also known as Nusa Tenggara Islands. Whereas this Tanimbar Island has been located in the southern Maluka province. I already told you before, these Tanimbar Islands have been located in the Lesser Sunda Islands. In the Lesser Sunda Islands in Maluka province, we can see this Tanimbar Island. So the next one being WTTC's 2024 Economic Impact Trends Report. So before getting into what's this report, let's understand about it. This talks about the travel and tourism impact on the economy of a particular country. It talks about how the travel and tourism sector contributes to the economy of a country. So this is the organization which is responsible to give report globally and also individually to different countries, the impact of these tourism sector to different countries economy. So let's understand more about this. This is in news because India ranked 8th in this report, whereas this report is released every year by WTTC. This report is an annual report. This report has been released since 2019. Since 2019, this report has been released annually, and this year 2025, India got a position of 8th position, when compared to last year, which is the 10th position. So India has been improved when compared to last year. So India's position improved from 10th to 8th position since 2019. WTCC TTC publishing this report. This is an annual report and it analyzes the economic impact of travel and tourism sector worldwide. Whereas in this report, the top 3 countries being USA, China, Germany. So in these countries, we'll see a lot of economic impact is observed. A lot of revenue will be observed in these countries from the tourism sector. Whereas from the tourism sector, whatever the revenue that India got the 8th rank according to this report. So let's understand the next topic. The next one being about this organization WTTC. The full form of this WTTC is World Travel and Tourism Council. So let's understand more about this council, this body. It is a global forum for travel and tourism industry and it represents the private sector. It is very important to understand it represents the private sector. And it raises awareness about the sector's economic impact. As I told you before, it raises awareness about the economic impact by tourism to different countries. This council has been established in 1990. Its headquarters been established in London, UK, and it promotes the sustainable development and growth in the global tourism. And this comprises of more than 200 CEOs, chairpersons, and the presidents from the world's top travel and tourism companies. It consists of all these members of CEOs, chairpersons, and presidents from the top travel and tourism companies of different countries. So, whereas what are the reports given by this council being, as we saw before, this is the economic impact trends report and the other being the country specific outlooks. So, this is all about this World Travel and Tourism Council and this is the report findings highlighted by the WTTC report. So, the next one being Northeastern Regions SDG Index. So, before getting into this, it is important to understand about the SDGs and the SDG Index. SDG is all about, it is the Sustainable Development Goals which have been adopted by the United Nations and all the UN countries in 2015 to achieve particular 17 goals by 2030. So, let's understand more about the SDGs. So, these are the 17 SDGs that I talked now. So, let's understand one by one. First one being SDG 1 talks about the no poverty. So, in order to reduce the poverty, and the next one being zero hunger. It has to, world has to go to zero hunger by 2030. And third being good health and well-being. And the fourth being quality education. And the fifth being gender equality, especially gender equality in the pay scale in different workplaces. Sixth being clean water and sanitation. Seventh being affordable and clean energy. Here affordable and clean energy talks about the renewable energy. Here clean energy talks about renewable energy. That is whatever the energy that has been produced from the non-fossil fuel energy sources. For example, solar, wind power and the hydro power projects. So the energy, the electricity that has been produced through these renewable energy sources are called the clean energy. Eighth one being decent work and the economic growth, and the ninth being industry, innovation and infrastructure. So it is very essential to emphasize on the innovation and the different discoveries in different industries. So ninth talks about industries, innovation and the infrastructure, and the 10th one being reduce the inequalities. Reduce the inequalities, it emphasizes on the reduce the inequalities in different countries. That is, it's not about only one country overall globally is rich. So in order to reduce the inequalities between different countries, SDG 10 emphasizes mainly on reducing inequalities. And the next one being sustainable cities and the communities, and the 12th one being responsible consumption and production, and 13th is climate action. So nowadays many climate action initiatives have been taken by UNFCCC in order to reduce the greenhouse gases and to protect the atmosphere. And the 14 talks about life below the water. So it talks about the flora and flora below the water. The next one being 15 being life on land. It talks about the terrestrial activities and the terrestrial flora and terrestrial fauna. And the 16th being peace, justice and the strong institutions. So SDG 16 mainly emphasizes on improving the peace and security all over the world. And 17th being partnerships for the goals. So these are the 17 SDGs that has been advocated by UN in 2015 in order to achieve these 17 goals that it has given the period for about 15 years, that is by 2030 that all countries have to achieve all these 17 targets. That's what it talks about. This SDGs, that is the Sustainable Development Goals, are also known as the global goals. It has been adopted by the United Nations in 2015. They provide a shared blueprint for the peace and prosperity of people, planet and for the future. There are 17 interconnected goals and 169 targets. Here 169 targets are nothing but they are the sub goals and sub targets of these 17 targets. So 169 targets and 17 goals that all the UN members have agreed to work towards achieving this by 2030. It has been signed in 2015. It is targeted to achieve these 17 goals by 2030. And previously that we saw all the 17 SDGs. So now let's get into the today's current affairs topic called the Northeastern Region SDG Index. There is the two SDG indexes, one being the global and the other being the national. The global SDG index has been given by UN SDG Solutions Network, whereas the India's SDG index will be given by Niti Aayog organization. So let's understand more about this. This northeastern region has made significant progress towards achieving the SDGs, and the next one being SDG India Index developed by Niti Aayog. As I told you, it is developed by the national level SDG index is developed by Niti Aayog to measure and track the India's progress towards SDGs, which is set by United Nations. District SDG Index 2023 to 24. This District SDG Index will be released by Niti Aayog, Ministry of Development of Northeastern Region with the support of UNDP. It is very important to understand what are the different indexes, reports, who publish all these reports and indexes. This SDG Index is released by Niti Aayog with the help of the Ministry of Development of Northeastern Region with the support of United Nations Development Program. And this index assesses 121 districts across 18 states on 15 of 17 SDGs. Usually we have 17 SDGs, but to assess different districts according to this index, it has considered only 15 SDGs, not 17 SDGs. The next one being, there are different statuses have been given to different districts based on their performances. So those statuses has been categorized into 4. One being achievers, front runners, performers and aspirants. So these are the 4 categories will be awarded to those countries according to their performances. So all districts in Mizoram, Sikkim, Tripura have been achieved the front runner status, that is the second status. This front runner status have been achieved by all the districts in Mizoram, Sikkim as well as Tripura. So this is what about the SDG index and the Northeastern Region SDG index. So next one is about India's clean energy milestone. It is so before getting into the concept, so let's understand its background. That Prime Minister Modi has given the target to achieve 50% installation of electricity generation. That is 50% installed electricity generation through non-fossil fuels. So the target is to achieve by 2030, but we achieved this target by 2025 itself. So that is what it talks about. India has achieved 50% of its installed electricity capacity from non-fossil fuel sources by June 2025 itself. That is 5 years ahead of 2030 target. So that's what here it's been talking about. So this is the thermal sources. Thermal sources are nothing but the coal, that is the electricity generation through thermal power plants, through coal, that is through fossil fuels, that is 242.04, whereas through non-fossil fuels it is also almost same, but in terms of percent that we see that 50% of installed electricity generation has been achieved through these non-fossil fuels. So in these non-fossil fuels, the renewable energy sources are many, but which gives the greater contribution being the solar energy. The solar energy is the main source which gives the greater amount of renewable energy sources. That is, firstly it is solar, followed by wind, followed by biomass, and which is followed by small hydropower projects. So this is the milestone that we have achieved 5 years ahead, that is 50% of installed electricity generation through non-fossil fuels. Next one being, there are many flagship initiatives that have been taken by Government of India in order to reach this target. Let's see some of them. They are, firstly being the PM Kusum scheme. It mainly emphasizes on, it solarizes the agricultural pumps and the rural feeders. Here the solarization of agricultural pumps are nothing but, for example, this is the pump from which it drags the water from underground water to supply to different fields. So in order to drag the water from the underground water, this requires energy, that is, it requires electricity. So besides this, that we will use a solar cell which is responsible for the generation of the renewable energy. This produced energy has been used as an electricity in order to drag the underground water to pump the water to field crops. So this is how this PM Kusum scheme emphasizes on solarizes the agricultural pumps and the rural feeders. The next one being PM Suryaghar Muft Bijli Yojana. The main target of this scheme being to reach 1 crore rooftop solar homes. So we have a lot of villages and the rural areas where we do not see any electricity. There is no reach of electricity for those rural and remote areas. So for those areas, there is a scheme called this rooftop solar homes. According to this, this is the home. On this home, that they will install a solar cell which is helpful for the production of renewable energy, which is used for the production of electricity for their homes. Next one being solar parks, the wind and solar hybrid policy. These hybrid systems ensures the round the clock renewable supply. So these are the flagship initiatives which are responsible for production and the promotion of renewable energy through non-fossil fuels. The next one being the terms in use being the blood money. So before getting into what is this blood money, let's understand the issue regarding to the Indian nurse. She is the one who got stuck in Yemen, who is about to get the capital punishment in Yemen. So let's understand the issue behind it. So she is the one, he belonged to Kerala. From Kerala, she went to Yemen on 2008. She went to Yemen. In Yemen, she established a clinic along with a person called Talal Mahib. So this is the nurse and this is the Talal Mahib. He is a local in Yemen. So she made a partnership with this person who is a local of Yemen and established a clinic. So both of them being partners, after working for a while, he took the passport of this Indian nurse and started abusing her. So but she wanted to go back to India, but she can't go back due to her passport being stuck with him. So that she gave sedative to him, and when he got sedated, she thought to take her passport and fled back to India. But when she gave the sedative, that drug has got overdosed and he died. So she got an allegation that she killed this guy Talal Mahib. So in that case, Yemen government has announced capital punishment for this woman, that is Naimisha Priya, who is an Indian nurse, is working in Yemen. So there is another alternative to overcome this punishment being if this Naimisha will give the financial compensation for killing that person to his family. That financial compensation is called blood money. So there are only two ways in front of her, either to give financial compensation. If the family of this person accepts, then there is no problem that she will be free. But if they do not accept, then she will get a capital punishment. So it's under negotiations whether to give her a capital punishment or not. So this financial compensation given to her, to that person's family, is called blood money. And here are some of the previous year questions. Which one of the following pairs of islands are separated from each other by the 10-degree channel? Now only we learned that Andaman and Nicobar group of islands are separated by 10-degree channel, which is nothing but 10-degree north latitude. The next one being, with reference to United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which of the following is SDG 10? Whether it is reduced inequalities, zero hunger, climate action, decent work, and the economic growth. This reduced inequalities is the SDG 10, zero hunger is SDG 2, whereas this climate action is SDG 13, whereas decent work and economic growth is SDG 8. So as it asked about SDG 10, it is reduced inequalities. So I hope the class is informative. Thank you.